What is going on, guys? So recently we got Flash Season 2 kicking off, and the most recent episode was episode 2 with Jay Garrick. But this video is going to be a little different. This is going to be going back to episode 1 and talking about the events that happened in that episode, with Henry Allen being released from prison, Dr. Wells confessing to the killing of Nora Allen's murder, and all of that crazy stuff. But obviously, if I forget anything, or if any of you guys have any questions that I've missed or something that doesn't sound right, just leave it in the comments below and I'll probably reply to you there and try and explain it a little bit better. And of course, before I forget, there will definitely be spoilers to Season 2, Episode 1 of The Flash, and spoilers to the end of Season 1. So yeah, if you haven't seen those, then I suggest you go watch them, then come back to this video. But without further ado, this is the theory as to how Eobard Thawne could still be alive, so let's get into it. So if you remember from Season 1, the final episode of Season 1, Eobard Thawne, aka Dr. Wells, got erased from existence when Eddie shot himself. And of course, Henry Allen was still in prison, and blah blah blah, so we already know that. But in episode 1 of Season 2, we saw Dr. Wells confess to Nora Allen's murder on videotape. And of course, that allowed Henry Allen to be set free from prison. But this is what really gets me right here. At the end of the episode, Henry Allen just takes off, like he doesn't want to spend time with Barry Allen. He's been in prison for 14 years. He literally goes to like a party for like an hour, and then he just gets out of the city. Now that seems a little bit out of character for me. But also, it seems a little bit out of character for Dr. Wells to confess to Nora Allen's murder. Now, obviously, some of you guys are going to be like, well, if Dr. Wells doesn't exist anymore and his plan went wrong and everything, then why wouldn't he confess to Nora Allen's murder? But what I'm thinking is, at the end of the day, Dr. Wells is still Eobard Thawne. He still thinks he's going to win, unless he had another plan. And this is where my theory comes into it. Could it be possible that whilst Henry Allen was in prison, Dr. Wells visited Henry Allen in prison and used technology from the future to transfer his brainwaves into Henry Allen's body as a backup in case he loses? Now, I already know you guys are thinking, man, that is so far-fetched, that is so not what's going to happen, but it all seems a little bit too convenient right now, like, don't you think? Because when you think about it, when Dr. Wells confessed to Nora Allen's murder on video, that then made Henry Allen an innocent person, allowing him to be set free into the world. But if you look at it as Eobard Thawne in Henry Allen's body, that's technically Eobard Thawne saving himself. What's even more convenient is that both Dr. Wells and Henry Allen are both doctors. Obviously, the doctors in different fields, but I'm pretty sure Eobard Thawne from the future can figure out the basics of being a doctor in Henry Allen's field of work. And that was actually mentioned at the end of episode 1. It's almost like they were reminding us that Henry Allen was a doctor as well. So now I want to go through a few things that kind of pointed towards that direction, and it was mainly when Henry Allen came out of prison. He wasn't as ecstatic as I expected him to be. He came out looking like the plan is beginning. Like when he hugged Barry, he just had that face of mysteriousness, and just the whole thing about him leaving and everything like that just seemed a little bit strange. Because what you've got to remember is that Dr. Wells, Eobard Thawne, had 15 years to prepare for this, so obviously he probably made a bunch of backup plans. That would be a major plot point for the TV series to keep Eobard Thawne alive. Especially because in the CW's The Flash sizzle trailer that was released a few months ago, you hear Eobard Thawne say, "I still win." So why would Eobard Thawne say that? Maybe because he's not dead, maybe because he somehow managed to get something to keep himself alive, who knows? But that is it for my theory on how Eobard Thawne could still be alive in CW's The Flash. Now, if you guys don't understand anything, if you've got anything that counteracts my theory, you know, like proves it wrong or anything like that, then just let me know in the comments below, and maybe I could talk to you about it, maybe we could get around that, maybe there's something you haven't thought of, maybe there's something I haven't thought of, I don't know, but yeah, I just want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Do you think it could be possible? Just let me know. Now, there are theories going around the internet about who Zoom could actually be, and one of them is actually Henry Allen. But whether it's from an alternate universe or this universe is something that we have to find out. But I'm kind of hoping that it's Eddie Thawne, because I do remember in one of the interviews ages ago, Grant Gustin, who plays Barry Allen on the TV show, did say that everything that was in the final episode of Season 1 was in there for a reason. And we specifically saw Eddie Thawne's body fly up into that portal. So I am just hoping that Eddie Thawne is Zoom. Now, I know it's a little bit obvious, like that's what everybody's thinking, but I think that's something that would be really awesome to see. And I do remember in the comics, Zoom does actually state that a bullet changed his life. And what changed Eddie Thawne's life in the TV series? A bullet. So, yeah. That's going to be the end of this theory video, guys, and obviously I'm probably going to have more in the future of Season 2's The Flash. But until then, guys, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.